Okay, so notice I said that we're looking at the P-5 cello, fiddle, violin. This line here is the low string. This is the C. Okay, in my tuning, the C is yellow, the G is red. Okay, the D string I got here is a dark purple because I was afraid it wouldn't have much luster, but it should really be a light purple. So you can see that D on the screen up there is a light purple or pink or something. And then we have the light blue for the A, and I've made mistakes making that a dark blue. And then we have the E string. So that's the P-5 cello, fiddle, violin. And I made this instrument. It wasn't easy. You know, I had to use a clothespin up here and, you know, kind of do a little luthering up here. They call it luthering or something when you adjust the bridge with a carving knife. And it is a trade, you know, for people. They do that for cellos and violins. I had to work on my violin too to get the action down, because the smaller the action, okay, the less the string the less the string changes pitch, okay, when you're plucking it down, you see. So you want the action as close as it can get without buzzing and having the actual frets or the fingerboard itself interfere with the vibration. Okay, so why is there a dupe? What is this dupe? You know, that kind of looks kind of like dope. You know, what is this? Is this just to phase someone out? No. With P4 tuning, this is guitar, so this is the E box in the guitar, but it's P4, and that means that we've unwarped. We moved this over here so that we have perfect fourths. So from 6 to 2 is a perfect fourth. From 3 to 6 is a perfect fourth, key of C. From 7 to 3, just white keys. White keys on the piano, okay? Perfect fourth. Now, this is like this. It's a perfect fourth from F sharp. So that's the P4 tuning. And when we, on paper, when we have all P4 tuning on a guitar, and then we take the mirror image of that, that gives us the P5 cello, fiddle, violin notes. Okay, same patterns. So we talk about the patterns. So it doesn't appear that we're jumping around too much. Let's zoom out. So I'll show you what we're doing. See, it's not too far away in this chart. Now I have the P4 tunings, but this arrow going to the counterclockwise is for cello, fiddle, violin. Okay, going clockwise is for guitar P4. Okay, pretty much for guitar, if I'm not mistaken. So, but let's review the guitar here. So this is P4 guitar now, not regular guitar. It would be like this. Okay, and everything would be shaped like an E chord. So E would be shaped like an E chord, action fingers, and then you just move that E chord up one string and you get your A chord, and you move that E string up one more string and you get your D chord. All three, E, A, and D, would have the same action finger shape. Okay? Remember reviewing? I've seen this diagram many times already. Hopefully y'all who have been following my my work. String shapes, modal. This is guitar. Why are they in P4? Again, because we never know. We can start these patterns at any time and just hit the B and the G string, and then do the tuning adjustment from there. All right, so that's why we don't show the third in those P4 diagrams. I pointed at the camera, I'm sorry, because I'm really trying to point at the, you know, at those things. So here we go, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5. But for the 6, 7 root, the light blue note is here. It moves up one, so we just, okay, and we've had all kinds of lessons about how to cut out and use the open string instead. You just use the number system, so it's root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4. Well, you know you're going to have a 5, 6, 7, which is a 5, 6, 7 string shape right there, and then root 2, 3. So that's a cutout pattern. We just cut out, and we use the numbers to help us. When you cut out on one of the string shapes, the string shape is just one of the members of this pattern. That's why I call them string shapes. You know that next one's going to be on the open string. Now the caged is really for more barred work. So let's say we wanted to do in the key of F. Here's the key of F. Okay. Wanted to get that half diminished. By the way, you know, you've all learned piano a little bit. You just, if you're adding an accidental, if there's a little B flat in the register on the top, you know that you don't hit the B natural, you hit the B flat, and you play the same scale from the F, and that's how you get, you know, that's how you move the same shapes along, but hitting those accidentals. So, you know, we're always working with a system that we know, but we're going to make little adjustments to it as we move along. So in the key of F, it would be 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3. Let's try that again. 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4. Right. I didn't see that. And the other thing is that fourth is a B flat. That's why I didn't see it, because it's colored black. Now in the piano, it's easy to see a B flat. I use it as a landmark. Now we're going to warp up. Okay, so that's the P4 tuning. Now, we're lucky in the cello guitar. Okay, I had to lose the vest for a second. It's really not that cold. We've got a little bit of a warming trend and some rain here today. Rain's a definite sign of warmer weather around here, but just slightly warmer, but warm enough to make a difference. If we're running heat, you know, like a week ago it was 20 degrees, you know, and now it's like 40 in the morning. Okay, so with the P5 now, we don't have to make the tuning adjustment. Okay, and we have two things here. This is guitar 12 key. Okay, back to guitar for a second. We've got, once again, these have to be adjusted for the tuning warp, but now we have the 12 keys. What's the slowest note? This is the LPN. In my guitar, it's the C, because I down tune to C. If I put a capo here, the LPN is going to be an E. If I put a capo here, the LPN is going to be a D. The capo, the fret nut is here. That's C. So C is the fifth of what? C is the fifth of F. F is the what of C? F is the fourth of C. So just like caged is coined in C, these key numbers are coined in C. So R would be C. It would be the key of C.